Hi there, folks. Thanks for coming back. We got a new game for you today. This game is about this or this. It's actually not the thing itself. It's about, can these things match up? Two items that match. Can I be able to match one to the other? That's wrong game. But anyway, the idea of we're playing memory card matching. It's a game that everybody has played. And I'm saying everybody, yeah, I'm going to make that guarantee that we've all played matching memory card games in our past. And it isn't necessarily a board game, and I think it actually has, and you can buy it. But yeah, I mean, the game has been out there, and we all know the general premise of the game about, hey, I'm going to flip cards over, and whatever team gets the most matches wins. And so that's it. So I decided, hey, let's try to be able to make that game a classroom game in which that you could be able to play. I've got that for you here. I hope you enjoy the tutorial. I hope you check out the game. This is Memory, the matching game. Yep, everybody. So this game's a bit interesting and different from other ones that I normally play, because most of all of my games have a not all of them, but the general sense of my games are this. It is the review kind of style game in which that you ask your class questions and correct answers get them something, points, or they get them rewards, or they help move them along in the game elements one way or another. This one is just simply, there's no questions involved in this game. This is just the game itself. And so that puts the ownership on you to be able to say, what do you want to do with this thing? I mean, how do I want to be able to play matching? Is it just a fun thing to be able to do at the end of class? Is it a brain break? Is it tied to my curriculum? You can tie it to your curriculum. I'd love to be able to hear ways in which that you've done this and use this. I have used this as elements of other games in the past. I've used it in sort of a shoots and ladder style game. My most recent one that I'm using it for is one that I'm hopefully will be coming out in about 2 weeks, which is I got my version of Hungry Hippos coming out. And this is one of the mini games within the larger element of the game, and you're going to see that coming up here in a second. But this is going to be on you. I have different sort of levels of memory matching that you're going to be able to play and put together, and I hope you enjoy it. So let's jump into the thing. Okay, so you can see here is the opening slide, and on my opening slides I like to be able to make it look nice. There's no music with this one. For the most part, because this isn't traditional like a game show or a board game kind of a thing. Feel free to change Classroom Edition like all of mine into whatever ultimately that you want. And then we have the yellow slides, and the yellow slides almost always are these places where that I have instructions for you. And so the first thing that you can see here is the idea that I said, hey, there's 3 different kinds of puzzles that you can have: a green, a blue, a blue. That should say black. Hey, didn't change. Look at that. There's a fix right there. That's why I wasn't able to say that. A green, a blue, and a black. And basically the colors are going to indicate the level of hardness. Think about like ski runs or, right? Is black hard? I don't know if black's hard. I think green is easy. So let me just show you basically what it kind of looks like. Here is the element of the of what the green basic memory matching game would be. And by basic, I mean at this easy levels. And off on the left-hand side, you can see I have listed there, it says 7 matches or 14 squares. And what I mean by that is that there's like my flamingo pens here. So this is 1 match. He's kind of got a floppy, his head's kind of broken. Anyway, this is 1 match, but there's 2 separate items on here. So here we have, technically on this easy board, there's 15 squares. One of them, since it's an odd number, I made the free one, in the one in the middle free. And that means you're going to have 7 different images in which that you can be able to put on there. And let me show you kind of what it looks like here. In the if you see the words that are off on the left-hand side over here, what that is going to indicate is that this is a blank one for you to be able to edit. The one in the upper right-hand corner that says match the candy or another thing up there in the corner there is all about the telling you the theme. So I've given you 3 basic games. Sorry, not basics, 3 empty games. An easy, a medium, and a hard. And I've also given you those same 3 games with examples in each of them. Okay, so for like so here is the empty template, nothing there for you, a green easy one. And then here is a one of a green easy one, but it's already been pre-done for you. And this is called Match the Candy. All these instructions, by the way, are in the those yellow slides as well too. So let me bump out of here and show you what it actually looks like in the actual game itself. So now I have all these different squares that are there. the backs of the cards. And so if I click on any of them, what happens then is that I have animated it ahead of time and done all the work in which that now when you click on it, it disappears. So the card has been revealed to what's underneath it. And here's a piece of candy corn. And since we all know how to play the game, we already talked about that at the beginning. Remember that? So now I click on somewhere else, and now then the second item pops up. So I have candy corn and a piece of chocolate. So we're playing match the candy. Sorry, not a match. Now what happens? You go to the next team. So how do I unreveal these or flip these back over? Well, that's where those black arrows in the corner represent. If I click on the black arrow of that square, I have set that in what's called triggers in PowerPoint, and that trigger is designed to be able to flip that back over. And so it works. It doesn't matter how many times you click on it. It's just going to keep going. Click on the green square anywhere, the green card to open it up. Click on the arrow to cover it back. And we can do this, like I said, countless times. Now the next team, you guys get to be able to go like, oh, I want to go over here. There's a lollipop and there's a piece of taffy. All right, how about next person? How about this and a piece of chocolate? Uh-oh, I've seen chocolate before. Can you remember where it's at? Is that chocolate? Yes. And yeah, we got a match. Okay, so now you give yourself a tally, a point or whatever. Again, like I said in the beginning, this is your decision on the gameplay itself. What are you playing for, and how many teams do you have? And do you just have 2-on-2, 1-on-1 versus 1, or is it whole class, half and half, or other groups like that? Feel free to get creative with this, and such. And so that's the memory matching game. This is the easy one, the green one. It goes up in level of difficulty here. So you can see here, the next one that I'm going to give you is this medium version. And the medium version, I go from 7 to 14 matches. Based on, like I said, the level of your students, how much time that you have. Is this part of something else? My recommendation is play it and see how long it takes, as I'm developing this game. My wife, she's like, oh, I love the memory game. That actually was the inspiration for this. I'm doing this Hungry Hippos game, and I'm showing her the memory game of this, and she says, she just wants to play more of those games. And I'm like, well, hey, maybe just people want the memory games by itself. And so that's what the birth of this is. So thanks, Mrs. O'Donnell. There you go. Anyway, and like I said before, too, this is the empty one that has the instruction on the left a little bit. And then the other one, I put the title on here. And this one is called Match the Transportation. And these are just, if I quickly just go here, you can see I have just gone through and added just different things you can ride and move on, cars and bikes and mopeds and trucks and helicopters and all that kind of stuff. So that's modes of transportation. Notice if I get out of the game and I go back into it, they all disappear again. So if you got to remember, stay in the game. Basically all my games and virtually if you're doing anything like this, once you get out of the game, you hit that escape button, you are now getting out of it, and whatever you have up to that point, it's all just going to be reset. So anyway, so that's medium. You want to see what the black one looks like? Oh boy. Dum, dum, dum. This is a large one here. And so this one is a grand total of, there's 16 matches and 32 squares here. I thought this was a bit hard, but my wife and I actually had a good time and did it in just a few minutes, kind of a thing. It does take a while for those to kind of pop up, and it does interesting how the tides change and move and that kind of stuff. So again, be creative with how you're going to do this with your teams. This one, I actually included the exact game that is from my Hungry Hippos in here. So it's called Match the Hippo, and these are hippos that should be hungry. And so as wherever I click, I can see hippos who are eating or doing other things, sleeping after they ate or running because they ate too much and things like that. So here's all the Hungry Hippos one. All right, that sounds great, Ryan, but I don't care about hippos and transportation and candy. I want to do my own. Well, now here comes that part of the tutorial. Make your own. How do I do that? Well, let's say if I'm going to go do that free one here, not the free one. I'm going to go do the empty one. I go over here. First thing I'm going to do is I want to keep this plain one and make more of them. I've only given you 3. That's all you gave me. Doesn't matter. You can do hundreds of them by simply right-clicking your slide and going to duplicate. And now I have a copy of that, okay? You could do copy and paste too, but I like duplicate. Anyway, I can just do that 1,000 times, Control D, boo, 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 boo. Next thing you know, there's 10 versions of that easy one right there. And so now I can go over to here and just start adding images. So, and like I said, these are all in the instructions over here. So here's the directions about how to be able to make your own puzzle and such. And so for making your own puzzle, the first thing that you need to be able to do is find out what images am I going to get? Am I going to have a theme to them? I like the idea of theming them. So I just did fun ones, but you may want to tie it to your content or your curriculum, or not, or whatever. But basically, get those images. So I'm going to do the first one. I'm thinking I'm going to need about 7 different images. Now, where to get images? You know how to get images, right? You can go search the web, and you get the what's that called? When you go down a road and you don't know where you're going. Anyway, but you go down that rabbit hole of trying to find the perfect image and whatnot, and you look at your clip arts and all that to be able to get what you need. Or, funny story, virtually all of the images that you saw in mine, I've jumped into the artificial intelligence world, and there's a lot of different tools out there. I'm playing with the one that I've liked the most recently, which is called Microsoft Designer, their AI tool. I've got a link there. You can see it in purple there, and this is the one that I've really kind of felt was interesting, and you play around with it too. This one is free. You go there and you have to sign up with an account. By the way, you can't use a school account as of yet. Anything with a school domain, you have to sign up with a personal, any kind of account. So I use my personal Gmail account, signed up, and then I could be able to use the thing. And if I type in something in the text prompt, like on this one, it says, I want a cartoon of a smiling banana on a white background, vector 3D render. That's a lot of stuff in there. And then I hit generate, and then it's going to come back to me and give me 2 images. If I don't like them, I can hit generate again and do another 2. It's not instant. It takes a little while to process them, but that's what I have been doing, is just as I'm developing this game, just trying to be able to go through the generator. Don't like it, try it again. Don't like this, change the words a little bit. The prompt really drives everything. So for me, I really wanted to have that sort of, I added a 3D render because I wanted it to have that kind of like Pixar theme kind of a thing or whatever to it. And whatever. And so then once I got the image that I like, let's say if I like the banana on the left, I would click on it, make it, and then I now need to get that from here over and throw it into my PowerPoint. 2 ways to do that. Good old copy and paste. And the other option is I can download it and then insert it. One way or another, though, folks, let me show you briefly. I'm just going to go take a screenshot of this. Screenshot's my favorite tool. All right, pretend I copy that banana image. Now I'm going to go over to my free, here we go, to my easy one, and then I'm just going to paste this thing. So now here's my banana. Your banana images, or not banana, whatever image you have, is probably going to come in, and it won't be the exact same size that you need it to be. This thing's way too big, whatever. And so you're going to be able to move this thing around, and I just start with the first one, the upper left-hand corner, and then I'm going to try to resize this. And by resizing it, you can see I have some green there. It's slightly smaller than the space. This is what I recommend. Leave yourself a little bit. Once it's on there, I'm going to actually, if you can listen, I'm just using my cursor buttons to kind of center the thing and get it in there. The reason you don't want to have it too or right on the edge is that if it bleeds over a little bit, when you're playing, you click on one, you may get a hint of it. So just be aware of that. So now I got my one banana over there, and then I just go finding some others and put them all in there. Remember, you only need half of what's on there, so that's what the number's over there on the left. I got to find 7. I got 1. Go get 6 more. And so you ultimately go do that. I've pre-done this ahead of time. It's like a cooking show. It's like, oh, hey, look what I've done. Oh, I've already prepared everything. So I'm prepared. I'm doing a world history class. Look what I've made. I've got 7 images from ancient Rome, everybody, for you world history teachers at 7th, 6th grade. Anyway, all right. 3 or 4 I generated from AI. The other ones I just got off the web. So there you go. I got my images, and there's a Roman centurion and Hannibal crossing on an elephant and a map of Italy and Colosseum and Caesar. All right. This could be tied into a little bit of a review. This sounds like fun, Mr. O'Donnell. I know, isn't it? That's great. Now let's get matching. Actually, I can't do that yet because a couple things happen. First off, they need to have, remember, he needs his little pop pair. How do I get a buddy? I got one, Mr. Flamingo. How do I get my other? Well, make a copy. How do I make a copy? Multiple ways, you can say. Let me take my Roman centurion over here. Oh, my goodness. Sorry, this was only a screenshot. I wasn't prepped for this. I had some computer problems earlier. So I'm going to take my little Roman centurion, stop with my designer. I'm going to do another. I'm going to disregard this one because I was having some problems. I'm going to show you this guy over here. We're going to do it with the candy version since this one's already all set up. Same thing applies, though. All right, so I can see here, these are all separate elements. Okay, these are all separate, 7 different candy images. Now I need a copy of it. So I can just simply right-click copy and paste. And now I got my second candy corn. Move this wherever I want. Again, try to be able to center it. Sorry, not center it, but make sure it doesn't go over on any of those edges. Now I got 2 candy corn. And the other option, and then I can do this guy here too. The other shortcut, by the way, is just use your left hand, Control C. and Control V. There's a copy. And then there's a crazy one if you're ready for next level stuff. And we're going to talk about this again, the Control, or for you Mac people, the Command button. I'm going to click on the lollipop in the middle, click it once with my mouse. Then I'm going to highlight it first, then let go. Now hold Control button with my left hand, drag my mouse, and it will just make a copy. So be careful. This could be dangerous if you keep it and you could just make tons of different copies. But here I am now. I'm just going to be moving these things around, making sure I get just 2 of each. And Mr. Gummy Bear over there too. Once you look at it, just think about it that you got to I got to make it a little bit challenging, right? So maybe I want to be able to, those cotton candies are too close. Let me move candy cane over here or something like that. And so have fun playing with the thing. And if you use these from one time to another time, kids are like, I already know that candy corn's always in the top left. Well, you can change it from one time to the next, but you can't change it anyway. But here's something that you got to learn is if I do it, here's what it looks like. They're all on top. It doesn't work. This is all going to work based on these triggers. And if I show you what the thing looks like, it's a little complicated if I go to my animation pane. And so all of these things on the right-hand side that you can see here are all the triggers that are associated with making this thing happen. You don't need to touch any of it. That's what I've done in all the designing, is to be able to make it go back and disappear and all that kind of stuff. The only thing that you got to do, folks, is I have to layer these things, and I got to put candy corn just behind it. I don't need to change any animation. So how do I put this thing behind it is, let me show you here. Right click the piece of candy corn, and then there's a button that says send to back. Not send backward. I want it to send it all the way to the back. Now, all those elements that I have, candy corn's in the back. So when this plays, I go into slideshow mode. If I click on that top left green card, disappears. I click on the black arrow, goes back. Do I have to animate the piece of candy at all? No, it just needs to be layered back. That's it. Now I got to do this 14 times or worse, 32. That's a lot. Go back to that Control button that I mentioned before. Ready? Click on my first one. I'm going to do this piece of chocolate. And holding Control, quick one, don't drag. That makes copies. Control, drag, makes a copy. Control, let go with my mouse, move to another option. Nothing's on that. Then hold Control again, click, let go, hold Control, click, Control, click. What I'm doing here is I'm highlighting every single one relatively quickly. Now all the candy's highlighted. Then I can right click, as long as my mouse is over any one of them, right click, send to back end. Boom! Except I forgot the lollipop in the bottom. Anyway, but that's a nice way to be able to do a lot of them. And folks, there's your puzzle all done. So, hey, where's cotton candy? Is it over here? I already forgot. Oh my God, I guessed it. How funny was that? I didn't anyway. And that's kind of how the game's played. So when the kids go, oh, we've already played that, candy corn's in the top left, you just do, no, it's not. You do go backwards and do it again, right? Don't undo it. Just do the same thing. Send it back. Now, next time I'm going to move cotton candy or move candy corn somewhere else and all that kind of stuff. So that's how you ultimately set up and put those things in different places. Have fun with AI generated, or just go get your own on the web or whatever. Or check this thing out here. What about this guy? Like this idea. Like use your own curriculum, like the ancient Rome one, still doing images. What about words? You could do words. How about words like this one for English? Let's say if I want to do prepositions. Above, behind, in front, next to, and all that kind of stuff. So if I'm building a game here, we go here, I could simply just go get a text box. Whoops. Hello, I don't want a cameo. I don't even know what a cameo is. Go get myself a text box. Where'd you end up there? Gosh, dang it. And I'm going to say in front, which is funny because all it's preposition. It's part of what this game is about, layers. Then I can put that right there, right click it and go send to back. And I can put text boxes in there. Disappears and goes back. Or I can do them somewhere else and screenshot them as images and be able to pop them in. But you could put anything that you want back there, any objects, text boxes, and things like that to be able to do that. And you can see kind of that's what my example was over here about how to be able to do them. Is that it? That's it. Yeah. All right. I'd love to be able to hear back some of what you have done with these. Feel free to reach out. I keep saying check me out on Instagram, and I haven't been doing anything on Instagram, but I've just been making games. But I'd always love to be able to hear back. Please put some feedback in the Teachers Pay Teachers if you got this from here, or if you've been checking it out on YouTube and you can leave me some feedback. I'd appreciate that over there. As always, folks, I love playing games in the classroom. Love to hear about you guys playing the games in the classroom. And as always, I am Ryan the Gamer.